Jake! I'm glad that you're still going at it, and I'm glad that you produced your trailer. That means that you're one step closer to the goal of us sitting down and enjoying the actual fruits of your labor, and your cast's labor, and the crew's labor. That's a lot of labor. Anyways, the trailers are... trailer subject matter is kind of a hit and miss depending on how they decide to do it. If there's one thing I hate, is when the trailer oversells a movie, meaning that the bits and pieces that are more interesting in the movie are actually in the trailer. Case in point for me, unfortunately, and many of you may or may not agree, is Skyline. I was expecting a movie with plot and story in it. There was no plot or story. They're basically just eye candy throughout the whole film. So, depending on what you are actually doing, it may or may not be even worth the while to do a trailer, but since trailers are used for every movie, even documentaries sometimes, it is something that helps sell the product to the waiting audience or investors in regards to getting your word out, getting your work out, getting yourselves involved in getting recognition. The only negative aspect of doing trailers is that sometimes, as much as they're overselling them, sometimes it's an undersold item in the sense that the movie is given only certain selling points, and it's not enough. But that turns out more positive than negative for the simple fact that you end up actually enjoying it tremendously for the fact that you didn't expect it to be that much of a movie because the trailer didn't let on anything else. My big beef about trailers is that when they do trailers, they don't release them within a 6-month period of the movie actually coming out. They start releasing them almost 1 or 2 years in advance, depending on what they have available, or what they want to release to the public, or general public, to actually promote movies. Nowadays, the timeline tends to be around a year, which is less of an issue, but it's kind of annoying when you're actually sitting in the theater and you're going, this movie needs to be seen, but it's only next year. Oh well. That's a whole the sticking point for trailers. They're to get people hooked on getting themselves reeled in. And really, Jake? Dark Towers? Is that the Stephen King noveletta or the series of books that he actually decided to write? If they're bringing it out, I know a few people who'd be interested in actually seeing it, although I'm a bit skeptical about how they're going to achieve it due to the fact that, in retrospect, when you look at all the Stephen King movies that have been made, the horror side of a genre has always been dabbled with to the point that it makes it a watered-down mess, and it's kind of annoying, like Needful Things, for example. That was a great book for me. I was hoping to see exactly to the T what was inside the actual book. Unfortunately, whenever you read a book and you compare it to the movie, you'll never get the same experience, which is the number one beef. But, in the defense of the movie industry, I have to say this: they're getting better and better at doing the graphic novelas and the actual comic book settings and characters and storylines. And they're even getting better at using exact, almost-ish book scripts to actually bring out the best of the movie and not the worst. So, and that, Jake, that's that. Anyways, I'm glad to see that you're well. I'm sorry about the negative commentaries that you've been getting, but trolls are, like I've said, trolls leave lots of material that allow some green to grow wherever you are. They fertilize the soil around them. Anyways,